Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! Seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead! Behind the screen, Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship. Tying run at second, 2 out, Pompero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it, and to the middle with the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5.
For the 3rd time in 6 seasons, it's one goal achieved. The Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it through to Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. If you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button. And now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to our YouTube channel. And if you're watching us from our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, come on, guys. Go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the little bell next to it. That'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, you can also tweet the show. Tweet us at Sports Zone Shy, the CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online. You want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle. For Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, all one handle. Well, it was all one handle at the Shawn Sierra. Until we got some hackers who screwed up my accounts. So now it's not all at one handle. On Facebook, I'm at Shawn.Sierra 2025. On Twitter, I'm at ShawnSierra33. I have like 5 followers, so I need you to follow me on Twitter. I had over 1,000, almost 1,500 followers on Twitter before. So I'm ShawnSierra33. But on Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, I am still at the Shawn Sierra. Yeah, oh man, hold on. What's the dude's name? Oh. Listen, we got a great show, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. And that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Let's check the chat, because the chat is jumping already. I like it. I like that kind of party, baby. Black Diamond starting with his nonsense already. It's the top of the morning. Go Scrubs, go. Fly to W. 13th in a row at the crib. 7 in a row. I believe 16 of our last 19. And to think our 2 best pitchers. And to think missing our 2 best pitchers. Council coaching his ass off right now. Hashtag respect. Cornelius Cole, the house. What's up? Bye-bye. It's the top of the morning. Shawn Sports Owners. You too? Father W. Lord have mercy. You guys got to stop this nonsense. It's the South Side himself, Mr. Michelle Walls in the house. What up, Bye-bye, Isaac? What up on a hump day? Go Sox, go. You know it, baby. Tell them. Whatever, Black Diamond. Whatever, Black Diamond. Black Diamond says, Hating's not a good look on you, Shawn. I'm not hating. This. I love it. I love it. I love it. Listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. That, my peoples, I can promise you. Oh, my nephew chiming in with his nonsense. I agree. Hating is an awful look on him. I'm not hating. Just annoyed with you scrub fans. But Shawn, yes, man, had we won yesterday, we were so close. We missed it by that much. We would have been in first place in the AL Central with a 500 record. How crazy is that? But you know what? I love them young men. I love them boys. That young team is exciting. That young team is resilient. That young team is dumb enough to believe, dumb enough not to listen to all the naysayers and outsiders. And they're led by a heck of a manager. So, yeah. Listen, we got a great show for you at 9:30. My man, Gavriel Wilkins from the New 24 podcast is going to join us. We're going to talk the Bulls. The Bulls, as they hired their new executive VP, Vice President Executive of Basketball Operations, Bryson Graham. They hired him to kind of rebuild this front office, and find a new coach, and get this program, this organization, turned around in the right direction. Okay, he was with New Orleans for God knows how long, 15, 16 years, something like that. Is this the guy? We're going to find out. We're going to find out. According to some people, he's very good at listening. That's intriguing when that's one of the first things that people say about you. You're very good at listening. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, all my scrub fans. Now you're full of yourselves, huh? Cornelius, Armando, my nephew Mondo. By the W. All right, spare me. Spare me. But anyway, he's in charge of redirecting this franchise. Can you do it? We're going to find out. We're going to find out. He's got a slew of second-round picks. Can he package a couple of those to get a first-round pick? I don't know. So 9:30, Gavriel Wilkins come join the show. Then at 10 o'clock, man, we're going to talk some baseball, probably a little football. I don't even want to talk Bulls basketball because we're going to talk at 9:30. I didn't want to talk. Oh, and then we're going to talk a little hockey. All right? We're going to talk a little hockey. So as our old Uncle Hawk Harrelson used to say, sit back, relax, and strap it down. Because we have one heck of a show for you. And I'm fired up to talk sports with you. You know, and let me just so I was going through Twitter last night. Actually, this morning. I woke up early. You know, our bodies used to waking up around 4, just naturally now. And I'm going through, and this is why, and this is crazy. This is crazy. This is why I'm going to get into, so this upcoming football season, I'm going to break down a lot of plays. Maybe a couple of plays from the game on Sunday. But leading up to the season, I'll probably start, I will start cutting up clips and breaking down the clips. Remember we had, I had a couple pictures, sequential pictures, and broke those down for you. I got to get my Twitter numbers up. I want to get, everything. I got to rebuild my Twitter, all right, because damn hackers. But I saw this dude break something down. And then other people, I like this guy's breakdown, blah, 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 blah. And in one of the things, he's talking about the signing of the Detroit guy, who's the wide receiver we just got from Detroit. Anyway, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But anyway, he's talking about, he sits there, he's like, the Lions are playing the Bears. Khalif Raymond. Thank you, Mondo. Khalif Raymond. And he's sitting there and he's talking, and he says, yeah, here the Bears were to cover 4. And I looked and I'm like, it's not a cover 4. It's cover 6. And the dude said it with so much confidence, and he got like 76,000 followers. And then someone from the Chicago people said, I really like this guy's breakdowns. And I'm like, you realize this guy is wrong. The Bears were not in the cover 4, they're in the cover 6. And then even the NFL Plus retweeted it. I'm like, why would you do this? So obviously whoever's in charge of that account doesn't know football. Because he called the wrong coverage. Now, the other stuff was okay. But you call the wrong coverage. And this is the thing that bothers me about people who have platforms and say stuff we don't know shit. You misdiagnosed the coverage, and there's no way, I don't understand how he got cover 4 out of that. 4 DBs weren't dropping back. The one who should have been dropped back, if it was cover 4, was following the other one. So the rules of cover 4 were nowhere near being played. It was all cover 6. And I'm like, so people are listening to this guy when he don't know shit from Shinola. It's an old phrase, shit from Shinola. I don't know where I got it. But anyway, and that annoyed me. I'm like, and this dude got almost 80,000 followers, and he's literally making shit up as he goes along. Literally. So I'm going to wait for the response from him and from the Chicago guy because I responded to both of them. I was like, this guy's off. It's not a cover 4, it's cover 6. Can't tell me. I call cover 4 and cover 6. I did it for a living. So you can't tell me that's a cover 4, because as soon as he said cover 4 and I saw it, I'm like, wait a minute. No. Do you even know? Does he even know that there is a cover 6 involved? So that annoyed me. And I tried to go back to sleep. So I didn't go to CrossFit this morning. My day off. I tried to go back to sleep, but I was so fired up. I'm like, no, this is bullshit. When people do stuff and they have and they're completely off. Which is why it's frustrating when you get people who don't know shit and it's a popularity contest and you pass it off because people who are dumber than you, or let me not say that because that's an insult. People who aren't as knowledgeable as others take your word at face value because you say it with confidence. Oh, they're in a cover 4. No, they're not in a cover 4. Don't sit there and say they're in certain coverages because then the whole this time it worked out in what the offense did. But don't sit there and misdiagnose coverages if you can't read coverages, if you don't know what coverages are. And I was annoyed as all get out. Annoyed. This dude, come on, man. Stop. Almost 80,000 followers for a dude who doesn't know coverages but wants to break down film. Explain that shit. Explain that to me. He don't know coverages, but he wants to break. No. Explain that one to me. Don't know. That's the world we live in 2026. Pretend you're something you're not. Pretend you're something that you're not. And people who aren't as knowledgeable, like the average Joe's not going to know the difference. How many of you even knew there's a cover 6? You know, and if you did know it, you don't know the responsibilities of the DBs, the alignments. Because the dude's like, oh yeah, they're here, they're cover 4, they do this, and this. So like I said, I probably would have had a little more sleep because I've been up since like 4:15, and I couldn't go to. I was annoyed as all get out. Annoyed as all get out. Thanks, Mondo. I love that idea. I really show off the IQ, break down some film, and we'll break it down. That's what I did for my coaching career, my playing and coaching career. Broke down film. So I want to get that going for this upcoming season, and because I want people to be knowledgeable. I want people to be knowledgeable. I don't want people to say, because when you have, because if anyone whoever watches his stuff and wants to go sound smarter to their friends, because that's what people do, you listen to somebody who you think is more knowledgeable in an area than you, listen to what they say, and you regurgitate what it is they say. That's what happens. I get it. But you're going to end up looking like a fool because you're calling a certain thing incorrectly. That's what heated arguments start and this and this. So, I don't know. I was just annoyed as all get out. I was annoyed as hell. Like if you could have seen, like I was wired. Like at that point, I wanted to go to CrossFit. I want to go to CrossFit. Like this is people don't know things and misdiagnose things and spread that on a platform, and you get hundreds of thousands of people watching it. Like, oh, okay, and now you're miseducating people. You're miseducating them. In the big scheme of things, it don't mean anything. It really doesn't. If someone knows the difference between the cover 4 and the cover 6. But the integrity part of it is what bothers me. Of you not knowing your shit, not knowing what you're seeing, and basically lying to the people, making shit up as you go along. That's not a good service when you're in this business, to make shit up as you go along. Annoying as all get out. I got time. Shoot, I don't think I have time. Let's see. Let me see. Let me see if my guests can move. If Gavriel can, oh, come on, they want the fudge crackers. You know, if you can come on at 9:40, we can get the top of the morning topics in. I don't want to do them after. Okay. All right, cool. You can wait another 10 minutes. All right, cool. So let's get a cracker like you know how we do the first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Which way do we go? Which way do we go? Which way do we go? We'll start with you guys. I start off with the good guys on Monday. We can start off here. Cubs. The Cubs walked off the Reds yesterday 3-2 in 10 innings. Jameson Taillon started, got a no decision. 5 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, 5 punch outs. Michael Busch, 3 for 4 with a homer. His third of the season, driving in his 18th and 19th runs on the season. Bregman was 1 for 4 with an RBI, his 13th. Staying with the Cubs, and the next top of the morning topic, the Cubs. They host the Reds again tonight at Wrigley Field. First pitch is at 6:40 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on the Marquee Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 104.3 FM or 670 AM. The Score. The probables for tonight's game for the Reds. Brady Singer's on the bump for the team from the Queen City. He's 2-2 with a 5.57 ERA going up against Colin Ray, who's on the bump for the Northsiders. He's 4-1 with a 4.41 ERA. Moving it on, the next top of the morning topic. The good guys from the South Side had a rough one. Woo, man, it was a rough one yesterday. They fell to the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim of Orange County, 4-3. Eric Fetty got the start. He got the loss. He's 0-4, went 4 2/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 passes, 2 punch outs. Chase Mydroff, as you see, rounding the bases here in the picture. He was 2 for 5 with a homer, his second of the season, driving in his 5th RBI on the campaign. Grichuk was 1 for 2 with an RBI, his 3rd of the season. Andrew Carroll with a sac fly, drove in his 6th RBI of the season. Staying with the good guys. Seeing that both teams split the next top of the morning topic, the White Sox have the rubber match against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim of Southern California, East LA homes. They have that today. First pitch is at 3:07 p.m. Central. You can catch that game on Chicago Sports Network or listen to it on their flagship station, ESPN 1000. That's 1000 AM. The probables for today's game. For the White Sox, Noah Schultz, the nasty local left-hander. He's on the bump for the good guys. He's 2-1 with a 2.53 ERA going up against Walbert Arena. For the Angels, he's 0-3 with a 3.86 ERA. The next top of the morning topic. The NFL draft lottery was held yesterday, and the Blackhawks have the 4th pick overall. Man, there was a chance they could to get get the overall pick, number 1 overall pick like they had a couple of years ago when they got Connor Bedard. And they could have drafted Gavriel McKenna out of Penn State. He's the consensus number 1 overall pick. Now, Toronto gets the number 1 pick, and I'm like, wait a minute. See, this is the thing that created. I know it's all rigged. But now Toronto gets to pair. They get to draft Gavin McKenna, and they get to pair him with Austin Matthews? Really? The fudge crackers is that? Or in my Cat Williams voice, who I went to go see this Wednesday, but The fuck? Cat Williams was awesome. Oh, I'll have to show you the T-shirt I got. So it's a funny thing. So every time I go see Cat Williams, I'm like, I told you, my guy comes in town, or if he's out in like Grand Rapids or something, I'll drive up to Michigan and we'll drive from his house. His wife stays home with the kids. So we always get concert T-shirts outside. Like they at the United Center for concerts, people are right outside the door. Like when I used to sell white tickets. When I used to sell T-shirts at the Sox game, they used to have us, if you're going under the viaduct, right before you go under the viaduct on 35th to get to the stadium, they used to have us, we had to stand back there. At the United Center, they're right in front of the door. It's like, damn. So I picked up a Cat Williams T-shirt, a concert shirt on Saturday. It's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. I put it up there. Thought I did. Oh, Steve might have taken it down. Oh, Steve O. Yeah, I thought it looked like Steve O took it down. I had got a picture. It was, I'm telling you, Cat Williams was hilarious. Hilarious. That dude is talented. And the cool part is he's got a crew. Like that, you know, when you got a headliner, all right? And that's the one thing a lot of people wanted, a lot of comedians, especially guys who've been around the game for a long time and who've been, you know, they're older. You know, they're older. You know, they will you just want work. You know, you don't work because BT Comedy Jam isn't around. You know what I mean? Like they had a lot of those things aren't around anymore. So you get with a guy, and he bring you around on tour with him, so you make some money. So the people in his crew are Tommy Davidson, if you remember from In Living Color. As an actor, he did a lot of movies as well. Tommy Davidson and his crew. And Mark Curry, hanging with Mr. Cooper. He's in his crew as well. So those two always come out. I've seen him the last couple of the years with him. And that's what you do. You know, when you're a headliner, you know, you got your people you're cool with. Let everybody eat. You know what I mean? Let everybody eat. But, man, that show was awesome. That show was awesome as hell. Here's a picture from it. Yeah, Cat Williams was a man. He's a man. And let's finish up the last top of the morning topics before we go to a quick commercial and welcome our guest. The last top of the morning topic, the Bulls have hired a new vice president of basketball operations. His name is Bryson Graham. He is responsible for turning this organization around. Good luck, my man, dealing with the Reinsdorf family. Hope you have carte blanche in reorganizing the front office and in your head coaching search. All right. So listen, let's take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to welcome our guy, Gavriel Wilkins. We're going to talk about this Bryson Graham hire, what he thinks about it, and what he thinks about the direction of this organization now that move has been made. All right, so keep it locked here. Keep it locked right here, folks. Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago.
Operator 901, where's the emergency?
127 Brymere.
Okay, what's going on there?
I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
Ma'am, you've reached 911. This is an emergency line.
Large with half pepperoni, half mushrooms.
You know you've called 911. This is an emergency
Do you
line.
know how long it'll be?
Okay, ma'am, is everything okay over there? Do you have an emergency or not?
Yes.
And you're unable to talk because...
Right.
Okay, is there someone in the room with you? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like I have an officer about a mile from your location. Are there any weapons in your house?
No.
Can you stay on the phone with me?
No. See you soon. Thank you.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet on, my visor down, my mask up. You don't know who I am. Whether I'm African American, Asian American, Hispanic, white, male or female. You just know I'm an American airman kicking your butt. I'm General C.Q. Brown Jr. Come join us.
No, I don't know though. I'm scared. I mean, you're so...
Do you know that you're in my lane? No, not at all. Are you not paying attention? Are you texting? I was just checking in with my mom. I was telling her that I thought we'd be home by 6. It's okay. There's enough time. Just pay attention. I'm not even halfway through my text. There's no way. I'm not even going to look up. My babies are in the car. You have to pay attention. It's just supposed to be a quick text. I'm so sorry.
Hit left field. Here's PCA coming home. PCA to the plate. He's in. RBI single, Alex Bregman, and the Cubs within 1. It's 2-1. High fly ball, right field. That one back. We are tied. Michael Busch unloads. That one into center field. Here comes Swanson, and the Cubs win it. Michael Busch, a bouncer up the middle, and 8 up De La Cruz, and they walk it off again.
Making a habit out of it. Back-to-back walk-offs, first time since, how about that, May 4th and May 5th of 2021, exactly 5 years ago. Maybe not as dramatic with the walk-off home.
Welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of the Marquee Network. Those were you Northsiders with a walk-off. And it was actually very apropos, all right, because Ellie De La Cruz, who was stealing second? Was it Nico? Was trying to steal second, and I think he got thrown out, and he kind of just tapped him on the head with the glove and told him, like, get off the field. Tapped him on the head, basically get off the field. And karma came back quick as he booted that one, and that allowed the Cubs to walk it off. And so sometimes don't be an asshole. End the story. Don't be an asshole. Hey, real quick, here's the shirt I was telling you about. Cat Williams' shirt I got. It's pretty dope from the concert this Saturday. Dude, he is funny. My man Shorty in the house. What's up, Papa? It's the top of the morning. You're muted again. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for tuning in. Even if you do have me muted, stop with your cubby nonsense. But this is where my fair weather ass starts paying attention. My man checking in, Rick Gonzalez. What's up? Hola, amigo. FGB, F visiting Wisconsin. Rick, you're a fool, boy. You're a fool. Hey, listen. Let's welcome us, bringing our guests. So the Bulls were a proud franchise at one particular point. Okay, for those of us old enough to remember the 90s, it could not get any better than that. The Chicago Bulls were rock stars, especially in the second three-peat. Literally, they're as big as the Beatles. You would have people at airports. You'd have people at hotels waiting for the team. Because remember, back in the 90s, before 9/11, people could walk up to the gate. And before the Bulls got their charters, they flew commercial. All right. And then people find out, you find out where they're staying. Man, there are usually hundreds of people waiting at the hotel. Even if the Bulls got in at 2:00 in the morning, there are hundreds of people waiting at the God Blessed Hotel just to get a glimpse. Just with their disposable camera, get a picture of Mike or Scotty or Dennis walking into the hotel just to get a glimpse. Not even an autograph, a handshake, nothing, just to get a glimpse. That's how crazy this organization was. And it fell on hard times. And we got D Rose. Things look great for a while. He got injured. And then we've never really got back to that type of status. All right, Garpax was here for what seemed like decades. They got let go. They brought in AK, Acme, Arturas Karnisovas, and Mark Eversley. They didn't get it done. We were singing the praise. We were excited because of what Acme had done in Denver. Just couldn't replicate that here. So now their time is done, and now we have a new vice president of basketball operations. And my guess is we're going to talk about that because I want to see how he feels, because the Bulls are a global brand. You can still see people walking around with Bulls 23 jerseys all around the world. Still, to this day, 30 years after they won their last title, you see people with Bulls 30, Bulls 23, or Bulls 1. You still see people all around the world. And it's this guy's job, our new VP of basketball operations, to get this organization turned around and get it going in the right direction. Let's find out what our guest thinks about this new decision maker. Guys, he's a good friend of the program. You've seen him here. I think it was here like a week ago. He's the host of the new 24 podcast. Find him on Twitter at What Gabe Said. Guys, welcome back to Shawn Sierra Sports. Gavriel Wilkins. What's up, Papa? How are you? Good morning.
Good morning, Shawn. How you doing, man? It's a pleasure to be back on. Seems just like yesterday I was on. I remember a month ago we was talking about the Acme firing. See, since then the White Sox been playing some good baseball.
Yeah.
Had a chance to get in first place last night. Couldn't cash it in, but hey, baby steps, right? You know, you got Munetaka Murakami doing his thing. You got Kosa Montgomery doing his thing, and Miguel Vargas, you know, coming into his own. I'm very curious to see what this summer looks like on 35th and Shields.
I'll tell you what, I'm willing to spend money on this team this year. I will go to I already went to the home opener. I might go to the Crosstown next week, either Friday or Saturday one. Mm-hmm. I'm looking to spend money. This team is exciting. And even last night, even though they lost, all right, they got the bases loaded in the bottom of the ninth.
Yeah, definitely had a chance.
And they had a chance to tie it and or take the lead. This team does not quit. This team is fun to watch. the youthful exuberance that they have, led by a great manager in Will Venable. I mean, he's a great manager for us, for this young team that he's molding, that they play hard, and they're just dumb enough to believe that we can win this division. Because they won yesterday, they would have been in first place in the division by half a game.
I know. And I went to a game during that first homestand on, I believe it was Easter Sunday, when they swept Toronto.
Okay, yeah.
The energy was different. It was different. And the atmosphere around the team has been different. I think since the second half of the All-Star break last year, when they really started to pick it up, that's when you started to see guys have some sort of belief like, hey, we can win. Of course, they got to clean up some things, but I like what I see thus far for damn sure. And I'm definitely going to be at several games throughout the year.
You know, one of the things that I talk about is fundamentals. Okay, when you're not a good team yet, and it's not that the Sox don't have talent, the talent hasn't developed yet. They have a lot of talented guys, you know what I mean? And they are prospects that are, their first or second year in the bigs. Very rarely you're going to become a superstar in your first or second year in the bigs. It just doesn't happen that way.
Yeah.
It hasn't developed yet. But one of the things that has developed is the fundamentals. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, watch, when you have strong defense up the middle, you got a good catcher, good shortstop, second baseman, good center fielder. Hell, look at the north side. They got 2 Gold Glovers in the middle infield. They got a Gold Glover in center field. Okay? I said, but my White Sox, I said, they're doing the little things. I said, they're not missing the cutoff man. How many times do we see the ball go over the cutoff man or way to the right, to the left of the cutoff man? A runner gets scores or takes the extra base, is not thrown out because the cutoff man was missed. We're not doing that anymore. We're taking the extra base. We're stealing. All these little things that are important, that when you're not a very talented team, you must not give teams extra outs. And the White Sox are definitely not giving teams extra outs.
No, for sure. I've been impressed with what I've seen. And, hopefully the team that I'm here to talk about with you, could get their stuff together going in an upward trajectory.
All right, now you're asking a lot, Gavriel. Now you're asking a lot, bro.
I know.
Well, yeah, so the Bulls, they got their new guy. They had a guy, all right? They got their new guy. He is the new vice president of basketball operations, all right? Bryson Graham is with the Pelican organization since like 1985, it seems like. This dude's there for a long, long time. Talk to me about him, because the one thing that I like about him is this, and here's why I have hope for him. He started loading and unloading boxes when his first day there. Like, he was literally a piss on. He was a coffee go-getter and then some. You know what I mean? So when you start from the bottom of an organization and work your way up, you see every single level of that organization. You know where every flaw is in every level of that organization. And it allows you to say, okay, if I ran my own team, here's what I would do different. Here's what I see works. Here's what I see didn't work. Let me try this spin on it. Talk to me about your impressions of Bryson Graham, the new vice president of basketball operations for the Bulls.
Well, I'm just getting acquainted with him, Shawn, to be honest. But I do like the fact that when I look at his resume, he's worked at every level. Like you said, he started from the ground up. He was an intern. Then he became a player development director. Then he became a basketball operations associate. Then he became a video coordinator. Then he became a scouting coordinator. Then he became director of college scouting. Then he became the assistant general manager. Then he became the general manager under David Griffin when he came over from the Cleveland Cavaliers after winning a championship, courtesy of LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, Tyronn Lue, 10 years ago in 2016. Left after 15 years in New Orleans, was the senior VP of basketball operations for Atlanta over the last year. And like I said, like you said, he's worked his way up. So when you got a guy that's been at every level of a front office and is known to have a keen eye for scouting, this is a guy that was a big part, according to sources and people I've spoken to, in the Pelicans selecting Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Now, his career didn't take off until he got to Minnesota. But you see what Nickeil Alexander-Walker just did this season in his inaugural campaign out in Atlanta. He doubled his scoring average, went from averaging 9 off the bench to 20 in a starting role, and in turn, he won Most Improved Player honors this season. He also played a part in drafting Trey Murphy the third, who was one of the top 3-and-D wings in the league. Got Herb Jones in round 2, who was regarded as one of the best wing defenders in the league out of Alabama. And both of those players that I just named last are players that have been in numerous trade reports and rumors over the last couple of years in New Orleans. So when I see Bryson Graham's resume, I see a guy that knows every layer of the front office. And as a result, I think he'll have a unique perspective that most lack. Now, my only issue is with something that may be small to some people, but to me, I just can't get it for the life of me. Executive Vice President of Basketball Operations. I know that's a step up from his previous title, but technically Bryson Graham is the President of Basketball Operations. I know who holds the title of President, and that's Michael Reinsdorf. That's the person that I still have some slight concerns over, because what that tells me is that you don't know how to check your ego at the door. If you know that you need somebody that's a great communicator in your building, and you feel as though Bryson Graham checks all those boxes, bless him with that title of President of Basketball Operations, because even though he's the Executive VP of Basketball Operations in his technical title, that's the way that the people in the city of Chicago, including the media, should see him as the President of Basketball Operations and the shot caller. And I hope that Michael Reinsdorf and the brain trust within the Bulls ownership club gives this man the full autonomy to build this team in the vision that he sees fit and gets out the way.
That's probably the most poignant thing, the last thing you said. What type of control is this guy going to have? Like, I'm not worried about power. We're not worried, the structure, the title. All right. It's not like the NFL where we got screwed over. The Bears got screwed over like they did with that in the Atlanta with Ian Cunningham. All right. That's another story for another show. But as long as this guy has that type of autonomy to do that, basically just saying, all right, here's what I'm thinking. Can we get it done? If I'm Michael Reinsdorf, I would be like, whatever you need. And here's the reason. The Bulls, and here's the reason I'm concerned with that, because the Bulls are a team that they look at it as a business. Obviously, it is a business. But if they're still selling out and they're not having to pay top dollar for talent, they keep hanging around the play-in, and the United Center sold out night at 41 times a year. Why do I need to continue to put more money into the product on the court if people are still coming? I hope he gets rid of that type of mentality and says, because as a competitor, I mean, I get it. In business, you're making money, so you're winning. But wouldn't you want to win as an owner? And that's the problem that I have. Like, I hope he gives that dude that autonomy to say, hey, make us a winner. I'll sign whatever we need to sign. We'll bring in whoever we need to sign. We got to draft well, but we'll keep money aside if you have to bring in a free agent or something. But man, how likely do you think that Michael Reinsdorf is going to allow him to run it his way and check his own ego at the door?
I'm honestly not sure. I don't know. And I can't tell Bulls fans to have faith and hope in Michael Reinsdorf that he will spend money, because his track record and his father's track record since the championship years of yesteryear has shown otherwise. And I want Bulls fans to think deeper. You talk about, well, we got to hit in the draft. Yeah, that's true. You talk about how you want big-time free agency signings. That's true. But you know what else you should want? You should want your scouting department to be A1. you should want them to be boots on the ground, not only just at every Power 5 conference across this country, but overseas, scouting international talent. These are the things that me and my co-host Torrance Stagger speak on in episode 63 of the New 24 that just dropped this morning, when we were talking about the Bulls' decision to hire Bryson Graham. I'm less concerned about Bryson Graham than I am when it comes to Michael Reinsdorf. If Michael Reinsdorf wants to show and prove that he is committed to this organization, he will leave no stone unturned to do it and allow Bryson Graham to get everything correct. Like, you look at the G League in the NBA today, it's a key engine to develop talent, to nurture talent, and in some cases, if you're fortunate enough and you do it the right way, you can have a program like the Oklahoma City Thunder. You know who once coached that program? Was Mark Daigneault. He's now the head coach of the Oklahoma City Thunder. And over the last few seasons, he's done nothing but have success, including winning the NBA championship and coach of the year a couple of seasons ago. So I say all that to say this: it goes far beyond just being able to hit on draft picks and being able to hit on free agency signings. You want to have a well-oiled machine, and you need to make sure that you're doing all in your power to not only ensure that the talent on the floor is up to par, but that the talent in that front office is solid and guys that you can trust to be in here for years to come to do right by the organization. See, another reason why I'm worried about Michael Reinsdorf, exactly what my co-host Torrance Stagger said following the Acme firing, and we heard Michael Reinsdorf speak to the media, is that he talked about, well, I just want to get back to the playoffs. It should be a standard in place here in Chicago that the mission is to win championships. When you say you cool with being in the playoffs, what that strikes me is you saying is that you cool with having a situation like the New York Knicks. And no disrespect to the New York Knicks right now. They're in a much better position than the Chicago Bulls are.
Yep.
But when you look at the New York Knicks, you say that they're a contender for a championship, but you don't say that they're bona fide. You don't say that they're proven either. You should want a team that's proven. I know that the fan base wants a winner. I know that those fans that pack that arena out, yeah, some of them are there to have a good time, take their lady out on a date, stuff like that, got corporate clients they want to entertain and get business done. But at the same time, I'm thinking more so about that diehard fan. And I think that's what Michael Reinsdorf needs to think about, because the Bulls right now are in a state where they're losing not only out on a generation of fans, a young generation of fans, they losing generations of fans that they once had connections to. And you can tell that they are, because when you talk about the Bulls in this town with some people that follow on a casual level, they don't even know some of the guys on the team. And that right there should tell you everything that you need to know. Michael Reinsdorf got to surround himself around people that not only know the game, but he got to stand back and see how the game is played. One thing I do like about Bryson Graham, though, he's under the age of 45. They ended up getting a brother in a position, and hopefully he shows and proves what so many around the league think of him as being a high-level communicator and an excellent talent evaluator.
Well, they're going to need it because they need talent. They shipped off a lot of all the talent for all intents and purposes, except for two, Matas and Josh Giddey. I mean, most everyone else was on one-year deals, you know. And how much does it bother you? Because it bugs the shit out of me when you see Sumo going off like crazy in the playoffs. Just get him there. This is South Side. This is homegrown talent. State and state, U of I, fighting Illini. You draft him second round, and then you trade him. How frustrated are you to see that departure when Ayo was having one heck of a postseason. His only postseason of his career.
Well, I'm not frustrated, and I'm going to tell you why I'm not. Ayo always had a game that was more than deserving of being on the playoff stage. He's getting a chance to thrive alongside of one of the greatest leaders in the game today, Anthony Edwards. And you see him being able to take advantage of areas on the floor that he wasn't allowed to do when he was here. And he spoke on that openly when he was in Minnesota during his early days following the trade deadline. He like, hey, they said I could take mid-range shots. They didn't want me taking mid-range jump shots in Chicago. The only thing that bothers me about Ayo getting dealt to the Timberwolves is that the Bulls got little to nothing in return for him. Now, Leonard Miller, young role player, maybe that could be something, but to wait as late as they did in the game to finally pivot away from being satisfied with playing tournaments, that always is something that'll rub me the wrong way. The Kobe White trade irritated me as much too, but I'm glad to see those guys in positions that their games deserve to be in. And I think in turn, their careers will be able to blossom, and hopefully both of them be able to get paid. Something that we know was never going to be able to happen here. And had it happen here, would they have been able to really thrive and showcase what they've been able to show in playoff level environments? I don't think they would have.
Guys, we're joined by Gavriel Wilkins. He is the host of the New 24 podcast. We're talking Bulls basketball here on ShawnSierraSports on Sports Zone Chicago. You know, there's a different, regular season basketball, regular season, any sport, baseball, football, basketball, hockey, soccer. Regular season is excellent, but your legacy is forged in the postseason, and when you don't have a chance to get to the postseason, okay, your legacy can only go so far. Ask Dan Marino, okay, won Super Bowl and never went back. All right, and when you see the thing that Ayos can do, he was stone cold that 40-point night, boy. He was stone cold. That rim looked like an ocean. And then you see Kobe White as well. To me, it was frustrating that they couldn't get into the playoffs and have that type of performance for us. Because what that does when you perform on a playoff stage, because now it's only a certain amount of teams that are playing. It ain't 41 games a night. Okay, it's a hell of a lot less. The confidence in the player grows exponentially when you perform well in the playoffs, because you know that when it's time to show and prove, when the spotlight is on, the postseason's here, I've delivered. And there's a different a different swag, a different confidence that players have when you perform in the postseason. And now we're starting to see it from Ayo. We're seeing it from Kobe. We're seeing it from people who've made the guys that made it and are showing out. And to me, that's the thing that hurts. Is like, if we would have been able to have those types of performances in the first round and or the second round, had we gotten there from these guys, man, they would have been even bigger fan favorites than those two already were.
Yeah, but at the same time, to no detriment of their own, they were asked to fill a void, an enormous void on this team, and do things that within their current environments they don't have to do. Like, I always saw Kobe White as a guy that was electric when he had it going, and I looked at him as a guy that was reminiscent of Lou Williams. I used to always call him Chicago Lou Will when he get on a hot streak here. And it was fun to watch, don't get me wrong, right? But I always thought if you put him in an environment with a winning ball club that was a perennial player in the postseason, he could be a six-man of the year award recipient, if not a candidate, year after year. Once he went to Charlotte, where did they put him? On the bench. And he became a huge X factor. Now, they missed out on the playoffs, losing to Orlando in the play-in tournament, but they made enough noise to put the rest of the league on notice that when come next year, people are going to look at the Charlotte Hornets on the schedule and they're going to be like, you know what? I can't go out the night before and go, kick it or whatever. I got to get my ass ready because I got LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Con Knuppel, and Kobe White coming to town. Should he resign as a free agent there, which I think he will, considering that he's a North Carolina native and he's back at home and whatnot. So when you in an environment like that, it's different. And that's why when we talked last summer about the Bulls, and I was talking about teams like the Hornets, this is why, because those teams are coming. And now they're passing you up. Like, let's say the Brooklyn Nets, hypothetically, end up getting a top 3 overall pick. And they do extend Michael Porter Jr. You get a top 3 pick with Michael Porter Jr., that's not a bad combination. And let's say you re-sign Nick Claxton, who's a solid big man, and you get a few more pieces to go alongside of some young talent that you have and that you acquired last year in the draft, such as a Drake Powell or Igor Demine, who I had a lot of mixed reviews about. Didn't know if he could shoot it well, proved to shoot it well, and they shut him down due to injury. But if you don't play your cards right, if you're the Chicago Bulls, you can end up getting lapped by them. And to me, that would be a huge smack in the face, considering how poor the Nets have been over these last couple of years following the Big Three era of Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden being over there trying to win a championship and falling short. So you cannot leave no stone unturned. You look at the Washington Wizards. People laugh and say, well, why did they go get AD? He's made of glass, whatever. But they got a better team on paper than the Bulls entering next season, at least where we stand right now.
Because our roster isn't even filled because of all the expiring contracts that were traded for from Acme. So now who are some of the people you think are going to be in the running for the Bulls head coach? He's still got to fill out his front office, so he's still got to do that. All right, but then that front office that he fills out, he's probably gonna have to get a head start on looking for those things. Are probably gonna have to be done concurrently. Filling out that front office and getting a head coach, because the draft, before you know it, these playoffs are over and that draft is here. Like, oh snap! And you got to have a guy in here by that point, a coach, because what type of player do you need? We don't know. Only the coach knows what type of player he wants because of the system he's going to run. So, one, how soon do you think he fills out this front office? And then 2, how soon do you think they can come to agreement on a head coach?
I'm eager to see that. I always expected the Bulls to have a head of basketball ops before the draft lottery came, which, funny enough, is this Sunday afternoon, for those that don't know. And that's the event that I think a lot of Bulls fans need to have their eye on. But as far as guys that I would like to see considered for their head coaching role, I like some of the names that I heard thus far, at least one in particular in the last 24 hours, the 48 hours rather, and that's Sean Sweeney, Spurs assistant coach, who spent several years down in Dallas under Jason Kidd, working with the likes of talent such as Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Jalen Brunson, list goes on, and worked with a young Giannis for a few years out in Milwaukee. Heard a number of positive things about him. We talk about bringing guys from winning organizations into the fold. He's well respected. He's well connected. You can't get no better than the San Antonio Spurs.
Oh.
Another guy who, if they were able to get him, I would be ecstatic and through the roof about it, is Sam Cassell. We know Sam Cassell through his playing days, winning 2 championships with the Houston Rockets, another one with the Boston Celtics, 3 total. And also as a coach on the assistant side under Joe Mazzulla in Boston, was under Doc Rivers prior to that in previous stops such as LA and Philly. That's a guy that I wouldn't mind bringing in here one bit, and is a true basketball lifer. Another guy I would look at is Chris Quinn, who was a former talent at Notre Dame at the collegiate level, played in the league for a little while, been a long-time assistant in Miami. I think he's been waiting for his shot for a long time. These are the type of guys that I want to hear being linked to their head coaching job. And I also like the fact that they're looking at Celtics assistant GM Dave Lewin and trying to lure him away from there so that they could put him in a front office role here, whether that's as a general manager or within their analytics department. However, you need people from winning organizations. When you think of the San Antonios, you think of the Bostons, you think of the Oklahoma Cities, even the Miamis. They have something that the Bulls lack. They have a culture. They have identity. These are the things that they need to get right in order to fly high.
Man, some of the names you said, Sam Cassell, I'd be intrigued to see him get the head coaching gig because point guards in the NBA have shown us to be pretty good head coaches because you are literally a head coach. You're running the offense. You're running the system on the court in real time. And I would love to see his thought process. You know, I would take a chance on him if they feel he's a fit. I think he might be good. I mean, we have. Excuse me. We're going to have someone because we're going to have probably a young team. Because I doubt you're going to sign all free agents, but you're going to have a young team. You're going to need a guy to show them the rope, show them how you want the game run, how you want the game played, and to me, it's important this head coaching gig because with all the youngsters we're going to have, especially if we got a lot of rookies. One of the things I say most often is the most important coaching you get when you go up from high school to college to pro. The most important coaching you get is that first year. It lays the foundation for you how to play, how to act as a professional or as a collegian. It shows you how to prepare, and it shows you how to grow in this new level. And if we get a lot of young players and we get a good head coach, this team could, in a couple of years, literally be a Eastern Conference final contender. But you need that coaching. And that's the West. To me, that's so important. But that also goes back to what you said. You got to get scouts. You got to get scouts that can see mugs that see guys, this talent, he's a little raw here, he's a little underdeveloped here. And then you got to have a development department, which I will say this: we did see a lot of players get developed on the Bulls. I mean, Kobe, Io, even Matas has gotten, and even some of the lesser names like Julian Phillips and those Dalen Terry. Dalen Terry was doing work the other day in the playoffs.
Yeah, garbage time. I mean, but and no disrespect to Dalen Terry, I wasn't necessarily the most fondest of that pick, but guys like Kobe and Io, I give them more so credit than I do the Bulls organization because them guys was willing to put the work in, and they were willing to take the tutelage of a DeMar DeRozan to heart and say, you know what, I see a vet like that putting in the work, flying me out to train with him and whatnot. I need to be training just as hard when I'm on my own as much as I am when I'm with him, so those guys wanted to put that work in. Like, I know firsthand that Kobe White was going to my man Johnny Stephen dribble too much to tighten up his handle. And when he did, you saw a new and improved Kobe White that was playing with confidence, and his numbers and his stats started to grow as a byproduct of that. And you talk about Sam Cassell. I know this too about him. He was very instrumental in the development of the reigning MVP in this league. And his name is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the Oklahoma City Thunder, for those that don't know. He was the guy that when SGA was a rookie with the Clippers, he would say, hey, if you want to be about the work, meet me here at this time at the gym. We're going to work on this mid-range game. That's one thing that Sam Cassell was elite at during his days as a player when he became an all-star during his days alongside of KG with the Minnesota Timberwolves. He worked day after day, hour by hour with that young man, and now you seeing him reap the benefits of that labor, and having won a championship is a byproduct of utilizing the mid-range area of the floor like so many great shooting guards before him once did, such as the late Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, and even Kawhi Leonard, alongside of many other talents in this league. But that's why I like guys like Sam Cassell. They're about their work. And he did the same thing with guys like Tyrese Maxey during his days in Philly. Young players need guys like that not only just gonna put you up on game, but be able to walk you through it and demonstrate. You know, that's something that's a lost art, and a lot of guys need that. And this Bulls team is gonna need that. And I'm not even necessarily thinking Eastern Conference Finals right now. It's about putting yourself back up towards a level of respectability enough to get guys' attention around the league to understand, hey, something different in the water in Chicago. And maybe once they got their stuff right and together, I want to be a part of that. You know, because if you build it, they'll come. We know that guys like to kick it here, hang out here in the summer, even play here during the regular season, come through. But when it comes to how players are treated, past and present, it's got to change. And the Bulls got to be better.
I agree. Chicago is, you know, obviously my bias involved, but Chicago's the best city in the world. All right. World-class cities, you know, bigger than Boston, smaller than New York, cleaner than both. Okay. And everything that you can have in a city. Everything. All right. There's literally no, and then you mentioned Summertime Shy, which is about 5 minutes away. You know what I mean? Like Summertime Shy, there's nothing like it. You know what I mean? Nothing like it. And so, you know, this is a top destination, and it's been a desert, so to speak, for free agents because of what you mentioned, the way that they were treated. And hopefully Reinsdorf has seen the bad things, and hopefully the bad way that the organization, mainly his father, has treated players, and kind of does a 180 and is a lot more welcoming, you know, to free agents, because Chicago is a second to none city. It is a first class city, and we're the third largest market in the league. We gotta have good sports teams. You know what I mean? We gotta get. We should be, all our seasons should be overlapping. All right, like back in the day when the Blackhawks are winning their Stanley Cups, they're going into June. All right, and we got baseball season overlapping, and then the Bulls at some point are the same thing. All right, then baseball season, you know, they're getting the Cubs will get to the playoffs more often than my White Sox. But even then, because then now you're intersecting, you're overlapping with football season. All those, and every year your seasons overlap, and that's how we should be, being the third largest market in the country. That's how our sports teams, our sports scheduling should go, as our teams overlap, because we're in the playoffs and the beginning of a new sport comes, and we have multiple sports to watch because our teams are always in the playoffs, and that's what we need. And that's why I said, you know, in a 4 or 5 years, we can be, you know, Eastern Conference contenders, you know, because it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. But, hey, we've waited this long. What's another 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, but see, this is the thing I think about, right? I turned 33 in July. The last time the Bulls won a playoff series was 2015. Put that in perspective for you. That was my senior year in undergrad. Been a long time. Derrick Rose was still on the roster. They beat a young Giannis Antetokounmpo in his first run in the playoffs. Giannis is an NBA champion now, you know, who could be on his next destination within a matter of months and weeks. Mm-hmm. At some point, when I think about things like that, my first thought goes to, what does it take to get back there and to do that on a perennial basis? Because, see, when I see teams that the Bulls had rivalries with, such as the New York Knicks in the playoffs, thriving, the Detroit Pistons, thriving, the Indiana Pacers, albeit they finished with the worst record in the league. A year ago, they were a win away from their first ever NBA Finals after a 25-year hiatus in that. They've gotten to the finals more recently than the Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
These are your rivals. The Cleveland Cavaliers are playing against the Detroit Pistons, and they have the highest payroll in the league. And they are considered by some folks as a small market organization. Now, I don't consider them as such because ever since LeBron James has been there, that brand has went global. But if the Cleveland Cavaliers are outspending you, that says a lot. That says a lot to me, especially when you have arguably the most recognizable brand in the NBA. And you talk about how everywhere you go, people wearing 23 jerseys, 1 jerseys, 33 jerseys. People wear that logo. And that logo should stand for something that represents a word that begins with the letter E, excellence. And I don't see that commitment to excellence. But hopefully, like you said, Michael Reinsdorf learns from the errors of his father and tries to move differently in the quest to bring respectability back. I'm not expecting the 90s. It's a different era of NBA basketball. Hell, ever since the Bulls have three-peated, it's only been one other organization to do it, and that's the Lakers. Everybody over the last 30 plus years has chased what the Bulls did in the 90s, winning 6 championships in 8 years. But in my opinion, in today's NBA, that's not going to happen because the league is built different. You know, everybody's gunning for you if you get a championship. You win back-to-back, that's really the new version of a three-peat, but we haven't had anybody do that in almost 10 years since Golden State did it in 17 and 18. And it took a big three-headed monster to get that accomplished. And they went through hell and storms to get those back-to-back championships. So I say all that to say we need to focus on the now. Not only as a fan base, but as an organization in order to see the greatness that lies ahead if Michael Reinsdorf and his brain trust are willing to explore that.
I'm interested to see Graham's plan. All right. I'm interested to see his 1 year, 3 year, and 5 year plan. All right. It's a lot easier to navigate a journey, because that's what it's going to be, when you have a plan. Now, sticking to that plan, you may deviate, you may change it up a little, but you still have a plan. And I'm anxious to see what his plan is, because again, we have some young talent. Then we don't know how good he is, how shrewd he is at negotiating. We don't know how shrewd he is in talent acquisition. We don't. So we have to see all that. But I would love to hear a plan from this guy. Say, hey, in 3 years, I want us to be we're perennial playoff contenders. We're going to play every year, starting at that point. Okay, cool. In 5 years, now we're knocking on the Eastern Conference Finals. Okay, cool. I can roll with that. Give me something to look forward to, because now you're putting yourself on Front Street, and we as the fans and media will hold you accountable. But tell us what you're doing, because we're very forgiving as Chicago sports fans. If you let us know what you're doing, we'll say, okay, cool. I see what you're doing. And it's going to be tough a little bit. And don't worry, we're still going to be pissed at you and yelling and say you suck and your mama sucks. But we know in the big scheme of things, we're just mad in the moment. But we understand that this is what's going to happen, has to happen for us to get to where you want to go, which you explained to us. And if he gives it, I hope he does that and he decides to give the fans and a plan of a course of action, because we need something. We need something, and a plan for a new guy would buy him some time and buy him some good graces from our fan base, which is a very, very passionate, let's put it that way, very passionate fan base.
Oh, definitely. But see, when you talk about a 1 year plan, I don't think you're going to learn a lot about him over this next year. You may learn some things, but you're not going to learn the whole shebang. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. I'm willing to give it 3 to 5 years, and they're going to build it brick by brick. And I'm not going to sit up here and say that I have high expectations for next year, because I don't. But if you get a top 3 or 5 pick, I would love to know who you intend to target, what type of player that you're looking for. But I don't care if he gets all the way specific with it. Because, see, when I look at the Bulls team, or I look at tournaments such as March Madness, right? And I look at Darren Peterson, I'm like, yeah, the Bulls could use him. I look at Darius A. Cup Jr. I say, yeah, the Bulls could use him too. I look at a Caleb Wilson. The Bulls could use him. I look at a Cam Boozer. Bulls could use him. I just named several guys that play different positions on the floor, right? And the Bulls could use all of them. And you know what that tells me? That you are devoid of talent and you're not as good as you think you are. Yes, you have Josh Giddey, but am I married to the concept of keeping Josh Giddey for the next several years? No, I'm not. Yeah, you have Modest Buzelis, but am I necessarily married to keeping Modest? No, I'm not. Especially, like, let's just say hypothetically, you told me I could get a top 5 pick for Modest Buzelis. I let him go today. I would. And that's no knock on Modest. But that's just how devoid this roster is of talent. And they need somebody that's going to come in here and get these fans something that at least is enough to say, hey, I know that they are work in progress, but that guy right there, I could tune in every night and I know he going to be solid. I know that I could build something around this said player.
Interesting. You said you would trade Modest for a top 5, because I think Modest is a top 5 player. You know, I think especially with after his work in the G League and his mentality, his work ethic. You already saw he's gotten in the weight room. He's gotten bigger. He's not big.
He still got work to do. He got to stay there.
Oh yeah, but that's it. It's not going to happen in one off season. You know what I mean?
No, but this is the difference though. This is his third. He's about to go into year 3. See, in the NBA, you got 4 years on your rookie contract. Year 3 important. If you want that big bread, you want that max bread, I need you to take a leap. And yeah, I like Modest. Okay, I'm not questioning the kid work ethic, his heart. I think that he could be a solid number 3 option on a team that's on the rise. I really do. But see, I'm looking for somebody that can move units. I'm looking for somebody that when I turn into the game on CHSN in the winter, I'm like, yeah, I know I could book him for 25 a night. It's been a long time since I've been able to say that about a Bulls player. Like when DeMar DeRozan was here for a short time, I knew when it was the 4th quarter that he was going to give me something to see. He was going to entertain me. Even if the team wasn't winning shit, I knew that. It's been a long time since they had a guy like that was homegrown.
Yeah, but you also have to remember he's still only 20. Or I'm sorry, 21 or 22. Excuse me. He's still young. So he's
league real quick.
I hear you. But one, again, I can't wait to see him now after his second complete offseason in that weight room, because the one thing that I'm waiting for him to see is that killer instinct in the 4th quarter, because he has it a lot there in the games. He's dunking on you. He's going to the basket hard. There's just something about him that I'm concerned with, and I don't know if you get it. I mean, because he's aggressive, and I don't want to say he's not a dog, but I can't say that's a dog.
You know why?
Sketches.
Because he ain't got a handle. See, you know, in the NBA, you got guys that are good catch and shoot players. You got guys that are good off ball as cutters. You got guys that can play the passing lane. But in order for Modest to be who you want him to be, he got to be a Swiss Army knife. And the one thing Modest got to do on top of being in the weight room religiously, he got to tighten up his handle. He got to get a mid-range game. Things like that. See, it's levels to greatness in the NBA. Like Giannis, everybody look at Giannis sometime and they say, well, all he do is just dunk over people and just use his athletic prowess. And for a while, I used to think that was true. But you know what I do when I hear people putting out a lot of lazy rhetoric when they analyze players? I started watching every night. And when I watched every night, I started seeing the evolution of his game, learning how to be a playmaker, putting guys in positions to succeed. Yeah, sure. The three-point shot didn't come along completely, but he learned how to play from 15 feet out. And in the restricted area, he a killer. You got to start learning where your spots are that you like to operate out of. And the ones that you ain't great at, you need to work on that religiously, day in, day out throughout the summer. I'm not knocking Modest Buzelis. I'm not saying that I don't believe in the guy. But what I am saying is I need somebody to come in this organization when they get drafted, and I know that they a killer. Like if the Bulls got Darius A. Cup Jr., you'll see it. You'll see it from day one with that kid. He built different. And see, I know that personally because I know who his uncle is, Rashad Phillips. I know they put that work in with him in the mitten in Michigan, day in, day out. That's a guy that can raise your floor if you get a dude like that. And I guarantee if you talk to Derrick Rose about him, who happened to be coached by the same guy as A-Cup was in college, and John Calipari, he probably tell you the same thing.
I haven't given up on Modest at all. I think he's developing. Again, he's in year 3. All right, year 1, he worked on. Well, first from Jump Street, we all saw that he was aggressive. He was just skinny as hell, wasn't very strong, and he got pushed out. Okay, cool. Well, he hit the weight room. Now he's not getting pushed out as much. All right, now when he goes to the cup, he's finishing. I agree with you. There's levels of this shit, but it also takes time. And
yeah, but as a GM, right?
At early age, you got to get stronger to develop your game, so you know, okay, what am I good at? Because he wasn't strong at all, and now that he's getting strength. Now he can figure out, okay, now I'm getting that grown man strength that I can hang in. Now what can I do well? So give me till, and it's the sad part. This is why I hate when kids come out as one and done, because they have so much to get to be a bottom of an NFL and NBA player. That's a whole nother story on letting these guys in at 19. But now that he's here, so you remember. So, but now. I just think Modest is that dude who can really. We talked about playoff confidence. We get to the playoffs. Modest, you're the dude. I know Josh hits triple doubles, but people aren't going to see Josh. He has a great game. People are going to see you because
they're not going to see Modest either.
No, I think people are going to see you because he's a Chicago guy.
You know who I go to see? You know when I go to Bulls games, you want to know who I go to see? I'll tell you who I go to see. I go to see the guys on the other team. That's just like I went to one Bulls game this year. You know why I went? Because I wanted to see Cade Cunningham. Because you know why I want to see Cade Cunningham? Because I know Cade Cunningham a leader. I know the boy been a leader since he was at Oklahoma State. I believed in him so much that I remember when it was comparisons to him and Jalen Suggs coming out of Gonzaga, and people was like, well, Suggs is the number 1 pick. I'm like, you ain't watching him. You watching the team that he's operating with, but you're not watching individually. You're not understanding. But that's okay. You will understand. And I think most people are starting to understand now. But see, you know what made Cade different? It ain't just the fact that he put up the numbers. Is Cade being the leader that he is? I see Cade pull guys all the time around in the huddle. Not only just that, Cade do it on both ends of the floor. You need guys like that. And look at what he's done for that culture in Detroit. They went from losing 28 in a row 2 years ago to now they number 1 in the East. And you know what? Even in the midst of the 28-game losing streak, he showed you remnants of what he could be. That's what you need here in Chicago. You need a guy like that. Of course, guys like that, they don't grow on trees. We call them superstars for a reason. Modest, I'm not knocking Modest, but Modest gotta show it. And he has my support as long as he in the Bulls uniform, but he gotta show it.
there's something about him that, and I don't want to say it's his upbringing because he's a suburban kid. All right, and we know a lot of other players come from the hood, and you're brought up a certain way in the hood, and when you play sports in the hood, because I mean that dude was, because Modest was, I mean, he's playing against all the kids from the hood, all right, in AAU, and he's giving them that work. Maybe it's just that he's too nice, such a nice kid. And that's not saying it's bad to be a nice guy, but that's the same thing. You want to look in his eyes and you say, oh, he's a killer. Oh, he's a stone cold killer. And he's a nice guy, but damn, and I don't see that in Modest yet. I see it. I mean, I don't see it, and I want to see it from him because he's got the talent, dude. We've seen it. We've seen him go on. We've seen him post up people, not big men, but some big men. We've seen him take him off the drill. We've seen him hit the three. We've seen him hit the mid range. We've seen him drive with a little floater. We've seen all that. But I just not confident. Like, that's the killer. That's our boy. I like him a lot, and he's got to really get that. We've seen him get aggressive and take over this team. And he's got to do it on a consistent basis. He's got to say, this is my team. And that's what I don't know. I don't think he's done that. It said, this is my team. I don't care who wins the most money on this team, who's making the most money. This is my team. Because when Derrick Rose stepped on the Bulls, you knew, and everybody else in that locker room knew it was his team. When Cade Cunningham went to Detroit, everybody knew that's Cade Cunningham's team. You know what I mean? And I think that's where Modest has to step forward and say, this is my team. Come through me. I got you. And maybe he grows into it. Maybe he doesn't. Because, again, we've seen him give top players work. We've seen him do it. Now
you want to know what my comparison is for Modest Buzelis? Is never changed. I've always looked at Modest Buzelis as a Franz Wagner. I like Franz Wagner, right? Franz Wagner, in my opinion, when healthy, he's a top 35 to 40 player in the league. And when he's really going, sometimes he could elevate himself into the top 25 sometimes. But I got to see it. And like I say, you can win with guys like that on your roster, but I need a unit mover. And he just not what's going to help him for me right now.
Let me tell you what's going to help him. His little crew. His little Chicago crew.
That ain't moving me.
All right, no. I'm saying that can help him. I'm not because when you surround yourself with winners, okay, if you surround yourself with 3 winners, you're going to be the 4th. All right, him and Caleb been hanging out.
I know
him and PCA been hanging out. With all 3 of them guys hanging out.
It's been funny to watch.
Yeah, because it's like, you know what I mean. One guy's this guy, another guy's here, and then Caleb's 6'1". You know what I mean?
But see, not only does that, it's funny for me to watch because, see, in my opinion, and I give Caleb, big kudos. Caleb is the best athlete in this city, bar none. But see, me personally, and that's cool that they all hang out and they do their thing. But what I'm most so focused on is how they motivating and inspiring one another. That's cool to go to the games, but see, I'm from the era where Michael Jordan just randomly showed up to watch Chris Chelios. He ain't have to necessarily tell Chris Chelios to be what he was on the ice. Chris Chelios was that from the get-go. But greatness inspired greatness. Like I know Michael used to sometime come to the White Sox game to watch the Big Hurt when I was a kid. That's when I met him, right? When my mom worked up there. So, like, just the way we move, like sometimes I think some guys, at times they move a little bit too much for the camera. And I understand that being around a guy like Caleb Williams can bring a lot of attention. Caleb gonna bring attention no matter where he at because of the profile that he came in to the city with and even to the NFL with. And I think Chicago has had to learn how to share Caleb with the world, something that we don't necessarily always like to do with our athletes. Because to be honest, Caleb, in my opinion, is the biggest athlete to come through the city since Mike. Having a profile before he even played in the league. So
no, I think D-Rose, I can go D-Rose because D-Rose was.
But Derrick was ours though. Like it was different. I'm not saying that he didn't have a profile.
I got you. Not one of ours. Okay, I got
but
you.
Like I'm talking about like outsiders.
Got
like
you.
Caleb,
outsiders.
Caleb different. Like we have to share Caleb. Like you knew from the moment Caleb was drafted #1 by the Chicago Bears that the Bears were going to be on every national broadcast every Monday morning, games widely criticized and publicized. The organization was going to be under a different lens and microscope. If he didn't live up to the par, everybody in the city would have felt it. Yeah. Everybody. So Caleb is unique. And I understand them guys want to be around him and whatnot, but even if I was Caleb, I'd be moving different. Because to me, Caleb is in a pantheon of his own. Only athlete that touches that's close to Caleb in my mind in this city right now is Connor Bedard. PCA still got to show it. Great year. You know, you had a 30-30 season, all-star, but you got to continue to be consistent. You also got to grow up and mature too. You know, and Modest, cool, you know, local guy, Hinsdale kid, rooting for him. But you got to show it. It used to be a time where we didn't just give and anoint guys. Is the one they showed us.
I remember that era, and I still live by it. Don't give these kids anything. Let them earn it. Or Mike 100%. Talked about it, man. Everyone gets a shoe. Well, we didn't get a shoe until we had a game that warranted getting a shoe. Now everyone gets a shoe before they got the game. But I think, again, I also think that being around that crew, because even Connor Bedard hangs out with those guys. You know what I mean? That's that whole. Yeah, I've noticed. And it's just greatness around greatness, because I think they can criticize each other in a way that only people in your stratosphere can criticize you, that you'll take. You know what I mean? Because you ain't going to take it from a fat old white dude who's telling you, well, you're like, dude, shut the hell up. When's the last time you shot a basketball? When's the last time you shot a puck? When's the last time you threw a touchdown pass? When you got a dude you got Caleb status, you got PCA status, and Connor Bedard status, like, dude, you need to be a killer, man. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I think your group of friends is so important, and him being that little Chicago breakfast club that they got. I hope that wears on him and helps him become more mature, helps him become more of the killer. Because Connor Bedard's the killer. I went to his first game, and it was the first preseason game after they drafted him. Dude, it took like 15 seconds for him to take that first shot. I'm like, God damn. Oh, damn. He wasn't even wasting any time. He wanted a quick wrister at the Coley shot. I was like, man, okay. He's built different. We saw Caleb. Year one was a little different because of the craziness, but you still saw flashes. We saw big time last year. PCA last year. So now, hopefully, that rubs off on Modest being around great players, different sports, but great players. And hopefully gains that attitude, that swag, that bravado, and we'll see. We'll see when the basketball season starts next year. If he says, we'll see definitely if he says this is my team, we'll notice. He won't have to say it. We'll notice when he said to himself and to the team, this is my team. And once he does that, then I think we got a completely different Modest, and that's the Modest I want to see.
I hope so, but you know, I'm not gonna act like I'm on them guys' level athletically one damn bit. But I know when I see successful people in the room, right? I ask questions. I try to get tips and pointers, but I feel like I'm the man too, and I don't need nobody to tell me that. And if you ain't got that attitude in you, I don't know what to tell you. Because sometimes it's in you. It ain't on you. And it don't matter sometimes who you hang around. It's only so much that they can put into you. It's only so many jewels they can drop. At the end of the day, it's on you. And like I said, it's cool that they kicking it and that they got their little all Chicago club going on. But at the same time, it come down to what number 14 want for himself at the end of the day. And he has an enormous amount of pressure on him because, and I understand, right? He's the only guy that you can point to as a Bulls fan right now that's on the roster to say, you know what? He gives me some hope. He's really the only guy. He's one of the youngest players on the team. And you see the upside, so you gotta point, you gotta say it's him. You gotta say it's him. Well, hopefully you get a top 5 pick in this year's draft, if not a top 3 pick. And when you see a Darren Peterson for the first time, Lord willing, or Darius Acuff, you can say, oh, yeah, I know that's the one.
Man, Gavriel, Gabe, great stuff, man. I appreciate it. As always, do me a huge favor, though. Before you go, let everybody know where they can find you and your work online.
Yes, sir. You can find me at What Gabe Said on Twitter, known to the kids as X, and at TNTF _ the new 24. New episodes dropping every Wednesday. We just dropped episode 63 talking about the conference semifinal series, the teams that got eliminated in round 1, what lies ahead for them this all season, the looming questions that they may have going into it, and all of that. With my man Torrance Stagger, one of the best NBA podcasts, if not the best NBA podcast you're gonna find. You want in-depth analytics and convos, come to us. We got you covered on all of it. You feel like you was locked in from the beginning to the end when you listen to all our episodes. I promise you.
Man, as always, man, great stuff. I love talking hoops with you. Thanks again for your time, bro. We'll be in touch soon.
Anytime, for sure. You know it.
All right, man. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Guys, that's Gavriel Wilkins from the new 24 podcast. We got a new guy, Guilty Pleasure, checking in, man. Thank you. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. Catch me Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. to 11. All right. I do know a little bit. Check me out on Twitter, ShawnSierra33. Google me, see my background. I'm pretty extensive as far as athletics goes, sports. Appreciate it, man. Check it out. AC Adam checking in. What's up, Papa? Thank you for tuning in. Even if it's quick, I appreciate it. Appreciate the love, man. Appreciate the love. I'm excited for the Bull season as well. I really want to see Modest. I really want to see a bigger Modest. I really want to see a more aggressive Modest. I really want to see a dude that develops in front of, like, if his trajectory is like Lauri Markkanen's, that'd be awesome. Minus the injury, of course. I don't want him to get injured. But if he can get big, like physically big, like Modest. I'm sorry, Modest get physically big, like the finisher, Lauri, with his aggressiveness, I think that'd be a great player he's building himself, developing himself into. Because I think Modest is just straight. Like I said, he just seems so nice, and maybe that's a problem. He's just so nice of a guy. But you can be a nice guy. He's just got to get that switch flipped. See, there's a difference between a guy who's a great player and a guy who's a dog. And Modest has shown that. He can be a dog. The other times he's shown he's just too nice. He just give me a dude who's a dog versus a dude who's really, really talented. If you get a dog who's really, really talented, hold on, player. Now we're cooking with gas. And that's what I need Modest to be. I need him to be a dog with talent. He's got the talent part and he's got the dog part okay. I need him to be a lot more aggressive. And once he says, this is my team, I think we'll see a different kid, different young man. But again, this is all part of the reason that you don't let these kids in so early, because they're not fully developed physically, mentally, emotionally. And yeah, Crooked Commish. Yeah, you're right. He's like Shawn, like you said, Shawn, we don't want Modest to be modest. No, we don't. We don't. Be a humble character with the media and everything. But man, on the court, we need a killer. We need people to be like, damn, playing him, it's gonna be a long day. And that's where, again, I'm not saying because you grew up in the suburbs, you can't be a killer. Because when you look at all the rich people who were born in the suburbs and are killers went in the business world. Okay. But it just seems like he doesn't have that how can I put it? Because a lot of these players play on survival mode. This is their ticket to get out, and they're coached hard. I don't know. I'm trying to find the appropriate words for it and how I feel about Modest. I love the young man. I think he's extremely talented, but he's got to develop that dog that's there all the time, because it's there some of the time in spurts. We don't need it there spurts. We need it all the time. He needs to develop. He needs to say, hey, look, when the game's on the line, give me the goddamn ball and get away. Give me the goddamn ball, get out of my way. That's the type of Modest we want, because I'm telling you, people like him, but if he develops that dog mentality, this city will eat him up. They will love him even more than they like him already. So, yeah, some guilty pleasures, some dogs are made. Most, it's in them, and it's the way you're growing up, the way you know. And some get taught that, you know, and hopefully circumstances drive Matis into being that. We'll see. We'll see. Hey, listen, before we get out of here, I want to let you know, hey, make sure you get your Sports Zone Chicago swag. All right, make sure you go to sportzonechicago.com. Let me get. All right, SportsZoneChicago.com. We got our Bears Victory Monday shirts. We got our Sports Zone Chicago hoodies. We got our Sports Zone Chicago hats, T-shirts, our Coaching Matters shirt. Remember I told you, some smart guy once said it's Coaching Matters. Coaching Matters. We got our FGB T-shirts. All right, we got our Bears Victory Monday shirts, because we're going to wear those quite often this year. We have our Good, Better, Best T-shirts, Good, Better, Best hoodies, obviously our FGB T-shirts. We got FGB hats as well. Look at my man Shawn, who's in the chat right now. He already purchased his FGB hoodie for the season. So make sure you go to SportsZoneChicago.com. Check it out. If you're a cigar smoker, we got our Cigar Fanatic T-shirts for men and women. So make sure you do that. And also, do not forget the double nickel celebration, double nickel all linen celebration for the SuperBack. My birthday party, my 55th birthday party, Saturday, July 25th. We got 2.5 months. 2.5 months, July 25th, 4:30 to 7:30 on the Summer of George, 900 South Wells, where we board. There's a parking lot right next to it where you can park your car, just walk right next door and hop on the boat. All right, I had it on Eventbrite, but they're charging too many fees. They charge up to like 20% extra for the ticket. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that to my people. So here's what you can do if you want to go. All right, it's $55 a person. All right, you can Zelle me the money. All right. In the sports tag, the Zelle tag would be Sports Zone Chicago. You want to do PayPal? It's at my email address, ShawnSierraSports@gmail.com. You want to Venmo the money, Shawn-Sierra. All right, 3 different ways. Make sure you do that. I'm telling you, I got my DJs, DJ Kuko. You talk about Latin and Booty House. Man, my DJ Kuko is going to kick it. And then DY Nemesis. You talking straight up hip hop. That's my man in them. That's my man's in them as far as Charlie. And I'm getting one more DJ. I gotta meet up with him this Saturday at his event. Try to get him to see if he's available to DJ that party that day for the last hour of the cruise. If I get him, I'm telling you, get your tickets ASAP, because if I get this dude, we are going to. There could be, and I can only have 150 people on the boat. There could be like 250 people going to want to go. I'd be like, nope, sorry, but I got to get this one guy. Man, me and him have been boys since like 2009, 2010. So hopefully he's available and charges. And gives me a decent price. I'd love to have this dude DJ the last hour of my birthday party. Well, listen, 2 hours is coming and going. I want to thank Gavriel Wilkins from the New 24 podcast for coming out talking Bulls with me. I want to thank you guys. All right, all the people. King Booker World, Crooked Commish, Guilty Pleasure checking in for the first time. I appreciate it. Welcome, my man. Yeah, we keep it real, man. We're a buck. We all Chicagoans, South Side born and bred. I'm a suburbanite now. Don't kill me. But South Side born and bred. Born in Pilsen, 63rd and Western. Went to St. Rita. The old St. Rita on 63rd and Western. Man, we keep it a buck in here, man. We keep it a buck. AC Adams in the house. Mr. Southside himself. Michelle Walls, Black Diamond in the house. My nephew, Mondo. Saw him in the house earlier. Mr. Shorty is in the house. And me and Shorty kicked it week 2 against the Bears Lions. We kicked it. It was great to hang out with him. Who else? Did I miss anyone? If I did, Cornelius Squall's in the house. I want to thank everyone who tuned in. I appreciate the love and the support. I really, really do. All right? But listen, I hope you guys have a great day. Be a little cool today, tomorrow in the 50s, but that's okay. You're on the wake-up list, which means it is a great day. Remember that. Let your loved ones know you love them because tomorrow is promised to no one. All right? I will see you guys on Friday. Same bat time, same bat channel, 9 a.m. to 11 Central Time, right here on Sports Zone Chicago's YouTube channel and my Facebook page, Shawn Sierra's Facebook page. All right? Guilty Pleasure. You're saved. Stony Island. Living in the burbs now. Let me ask you a question. Because this happened to me. The first time I got my first driver's license that did not say Chicago, Illinois, I cried. First time I got my license that did not say Chicago, Illinois, I cried from it. I said, I'm officially a suburbanite. No! City kid, man, through and through. So, guys, you have a phenomenal, phenomenal day. I will see you on Friday. And from everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, I'm your brother, SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Your boy is out.
Come on, race the race.